Come in, creeps. You're in the right place for retching. The haunt of fear. And mon Dieu, that's French, fiends. Have I got a revolting tale for you? Want to know what's cooking in my cruddy cast iron cauldron? Well, your old witch has a gory slab of grisly gab about a terror time and a fast operator who brought a messy matter to a head and cut it off there. So wipe the drool from your chins, bend your floppy ears this way, and listen to this delightful tale of butchery called The Sliceman Cometh.
That 10th of March, 1793, was grim and grey, with rain threatening in the ominous black clouds that billowed overhead. A raw wind howled furiously about the crimson-stained guillotine, but it could not clear the befouled air of its abattoir aroma. Underfoot, cobblestones were slippery with congealing gore, while fresh, warm blood bubbled in a constant flow down the gutters, as the great blade hissed down again and again, heaping the basket with wide-eyed noble heads. There comely stood the man of the hour, the executioner, André Vache, amid the jeering, hooting, red-bonneted citizenry, reading an urgent message just handed to him.
And if 1,000 gold louis interest you, then visit me at 49 Rue du Bois. Pierre, I must leave. Carry on for me, eh?
A pleasure, André. As André hurried away from the awful scene, his blood-soaked shoes leaving red imprints on the paving stones, he eagerly reread the note he'd received.
1,000 gold louis. Sacre bleu.
Soon, the executioner was being ushered into a spacious room of 49 Rue du Bois by a venal-looking man with an unctuous manner about him. Ah, Monsieur Vache, I am Jean Corbeau. It is a great honor indeed to have so important and distinguished a visitor as you in my home.
You mentioned something about 1,000 gold louis, Citizen Corbeau. That is why I am here.
Make yourself comfortable, monsieur. Here, some of the finest wine from my cellar. And now I will explain why I sent for you. Actually, this house is not mine. It belongs to my brother Claude. Being the elder, my father left him everything. A fortune, monsieur. Should anything happen to Claude, I'd get it all. You understand.
You want me to rid you of your brother, Citizen Corbeau? Sapristi, you insinuate I would murder a man, even for that much gold.
Not murder, mon ami, merely an accusation to the right parties. And the head of another royalist sympathizer would roll into your basket.
Ah, that is a different story, Monsieur Corbeau. If your brother is one of them, a royalist, then I will be glad to expose him. It would be my duty.
You are a wise man, Monsieur Vache. Do not think I am not fond of my brother. But there are two things I love more: France and money. Here is half the payment, 500 gold louis. You'll receive the rest when I have proof that my brother has been executed. So many heads fall these days.
You shall have undeniable evidence, Citizen Corbeau. I will see to it. And now, bonsoir.
And so, that very day, André Vache made his accusation.
I have it from his own brother's lips, Citizen Marat. Claude Corbeau is in full sympathy with the nobility, despises the newly formed republic, and would betray it at the first opportunity. Order the arrest of Claude Corbeau.
The next day, Citizen Marat and 6 other judges of the commune looked down coldly and impatiently at the accused.
I am not an enemy of the revolution. When an innocent man can be dragged from his home on the flimsiest of pretexts, accused of treason without a shred of evidence, and sent to the guillotine by such a lie, then this is not a trial, but wanton butchery.
The chamber, thronged with angry, ragged citizens, shook with the hoarse clamoring for still another head.
I even speaks like nobility.
Death! Death!
Citizen Marat held up his hand and a hush fell over the chamber. Then, scowling darkly at the accused, he whispered,
This is your defense, Monsieur Corbeau? That we are butchers because we destroy our enemies?
He looked at his fellow judges.
What say you, citizens? We have the word of the eminent executioner Andre Vache, Citizen Marat. That is good enough for us.
Citizen Marat raised his hand and dropped a square of black crepe, and with this symbolic gesture, the crowd roared its approval.
The verdict, Claude Corbeau, is death on the guillotine.
Andre Vache led Claude to the monstrous machine as knitting needles clicked and the throng jeered.
Somehow, you lying dog. Justice will be done.
You delay the performance, monsieur. Madame la Guillotine must not be kept waiting.
The red-bonneted crowd waited in tense silence as the heavy knife was hoisted high between the slotted parallel beams. Then, with a whining crescendo to accompany the razor-sharp blade's descent, the crowd exploded in a lusty cheer as it hit, cutting through flesh and bone, slamming into the block. Andre caught Claude's head in a sack as hot blood spurted from the severed veins and arteries of the decapitated body, spraying his face and clothes. He held up the head-heavy sack with a triumphant grin. The crowd screamed. He moved through the silent, deserted streets, hearing the cheers from the guillotine square and thinking only of the gold he had earned. Before long, he returned at 49 Rue du Bois.
You asked for proof, Citizen Corbeau?
Ah, you brought me my brother's clothes. Andre Vache reached into the sack, pulled forth its contents, and held it dangling by the hair.
Better than that. I brought this. Look!
Jean Corbeau turned sickly green. He whimpered softly.
Take your money. Here. Get it out of here. Get rid of it.
Andre went light-heartedly through the evening streets, the gold jingling in his pockets, the sack swinging merrily at his side. A coach rumbled by, and he playfully tossed the red-soaked bag through its window. The coach stopped. A tall man got out and carried the gory bundle back to Andre.
Do you take our revolt so lightly that it amuses you to throw about the head of an enemy?
Take care, citizen. You speak to Vache, master of the guillotine.
The man handed Andre the sack.
And I, Citizen Vache, am master of France, Robespierre.
1,000 pardons, Your Excellency.
The coach rumbled off and Andre walked on, determined to rid himself of the head. As he crossed one of the Seine bridges, he tossed it over the parapet. Andre did not see the sack land in the bottom of a skiff that came from under the bridge arch. The head rolled out and the fisherman gasped.
Now, monsieur, what kind of fiendish joke is this? Look, it is Vache, the executioner. I was in the square when he got this head today, Henri. He held it up for all to see. He was very proud of it. It must have been someone very special. Then he dropped it accidentally. Come, Edouard. We will put ourselves in good with him by returning it.
When Andre returned to his rooming house, he was greeted by his landlady, Madame Barrette.
2 citizens left this for you, Monsieur Vache.
No! No, it is impossible!
Andre hurried out into the street with the blood-soaked bag. He stopped over a sewer grate.
Bien, Claude Corbeau. So they play games with us. Well, perhaps the rats down there will find you tempting.
The head dropped to Andre's feet as it tore through the sack's blood-rotted bottom. The cloth disappeared into the dank, reeking darkness. Andre hesitated stupidly as an ox cart, heaped with headless corpses, rounded the corner.
Vash, it is good to see you. Look, recognize some of your customers?
Take them away, Baudin. Go bury them.
Andre stood over the grinning head, hiding it from the cart driver's view.
I'm in no hurry, Vash. Let us stop for a drink. Our headless friends can wait.
Let me alone, Baudin. Go bury your foul-smelling dead.
Baudin shrugged, and the ox cart rumbled off. Andre turned to the head, angry and frustrated. He reached for it savagely.
Torment me, will you, Claude Corbeau? Well, we'll see about that.
The executioner came upon a market open late and lit dimly by oil lamps. He passed the stalls of fruits and vegetables and smiled at the joke he made.
Now, Monsieur Nobody, in among the cabbages with you. Behave, and perhaps you will end up in someone's soup.
Free at last of his frightful burden, Andre celebrated his newfound fortune at an inn with a glass of brandy. Then he returned home and, meeting his landlady, good-naturedly relieved her of his shopping basket.
Bonsoir, Madame Barrette. Permit me.
You are a gentleman, Monsieur Vache.
They entered the rooming house together and went into the kitchen.
You seem in a jovial mood tonight, Citizen Vache.
I have come into some wealth, and I...
Claude Corbeau's head grinned up at Andre from among the vegetables Madame Barrette emptied out onto the kitchen table.
Sacre Dieu! It's back!
What is back, Monsieur Vache? What? Oh! Ah!
The landlady moaned and turned away, sick. Andre, shaking uncontrollably, flung open the shutters and threw the gargoyle-like skull into the dark street below.
Stay away from me, you hear? Stay away!
A moment later, Monsieur Etienne, another boarder, entered. On his dour face a look more of pathos than anger. In his hand, the head.
It is not that you struck me with this, Vache. It is that you have so little respect for the dead that hurts.
No! No, not again!
Andre fumed, the blood draining from his face. He seized a cleaver from the table, then turned and snatched the head from Monsieur Etienne.
I'll destroy it. I'll chop it to bits. There'll be no head to return when I'm through with it.
Andre stumbled to his room, and with a rage that verged on madness, he kneeled on the floor and hacked at the lifeless flesh and bone until he'd reduced it into an unrecognizable heap of mincemeat.
Now let's see you come back. Now! Now!
Then, weak and exhausted, his intestines roiling and quivering like jelly, the executioner sank on his bed in a coma-like stupor. An hour passed. Paris was asleep. The night was still, except for an ox cart that rumbled by below. Andre stared at the noise and sat up. He listened to the front door open, the heavy, dragging footsteps on the stairs, the knob of his own door turn, and then...
Corbeau!
The headless corpse stumbled toward Andre, its hand gesticulating toward its neck, pointing.
Your head? You've come for your head? Oh, Lord. I can't give it to you. There on the floor, there it is. What's left of it?
The decapitated body hesitated as if bewildered as to what to do. Then it dragged forward again, reaching for Andre. Reaching.
No! No! Keep away!
Madame Barrette heard the ear-splitting scream that echoed through her rooming house and rushed to Andre's room with a candle. But as she reached the door, it opened. The body of Claude Corbeau stumbled out, and on its shoulders, crimson dripping from its torn and ruptured blood vessels, sat the savagely torn-off head of Andre Vache.
Well, that's one way to get ahead in the world, eh, kiddies? And now it's time to close CK's Muckmack for this issue. Hope you weren't gored stiff. We'll see you next in the Vault of Horror, when we'll be heading back your way with more top horror yarns. Till then, think about joining the EC Fan Addict Club. Don't be a sucker and do it. Just think about it.